Hey, material girl.
Love my guys, I wouldn't trade. From the cradle to the grave. Gordo got me on the way.
Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to do this story time for y'all because I know that I've been posting on TikTok a lot about what happened, but I haven't been on YouTube and I haven't told whoever watches my YouTube about what happened. So I'm coming on here to just tell y'all, for the people on TikTok who have been seeing the parts of the video but not really an explanation or a story to it. Maybe about 2 weeks ago I got arrested. I was actually with my ex. Him and I both got arrested. I've been posting the parts of the video that he recorded, and good thing I'm so happy that he decided to start recording, because we have had run-ins with this same police department too many times to know that every time they come around it's gonna be something. So I'm glad that he recorded as well, because we still don't think till this day that they had any body cameras on. So I posted 2 parts already. There's actually probably about 4 parts, maybe 5. But I posted 2 parts, so if y'all didn't see it, I'll put the link to my TikTok in the description. I don't even know where to begin from, but okay, I'm just gonna start from the other day, and then I'm gonna go back to the beginning of it. So the other day, my ex and I, we were just taking a walk, right? All of a sudden, we see 2 officers across the street. So the first thing my ex says is, "Oh boy, like, not today." We're so used to these same cops out here, like this same police department. Like, no, we don't want to be bothered with them. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to see them. We don't want to be near them. Like, we just felt it, like they were just gonna bother us because we've been harassed. They start walking across the street, walking towards us, like, "Hey, how you doing?" So we like, "We good," like, and we still, mind you, we're still walking. So they're like, "Oh, you guys want to talk for a second?" No, we don't want to talk. And that's exactly what we said. We don't want to talk to y'all. No, we don't want to talk. Like, why do we need to talk to y'all? Y'all randomly just coming up to us, asking us, "Oh, if we want to talk, like, how we doing?" No. So we said, "No, we don't want to talk." We're still walking. They're like, "Well, hold up for a second." And we're like, no, we don't have nothing to say. Like, what are we talking about? All of a sudden, these officers start asking me, "Oh, what's your name?" I'm like, "What do you need my name for?" Like, then they go, "Oh, do you have ID? Do you guys have ID? Do you have ID?" Specifically asking if I had ID. So I'm like, what do you need my ID for? You're randomly stopping us, asking us if we want to talk. We say no, then you're asking for my name and ID. So I'm like, what do you need my ID for? Mind you, we're still trying to walk off. They're kind of just following us. So at this point, it was a male officer and a female officer. Male officer goes, "Oh, well, you guys are not going anywhere." We're like, what do you mean? So right at that moment, that's when my ex began to record. I'm glad he started recording then. I think actually in the beginning of the video, you can hear him say, "You guys are not going anywhere." So that's when he first started recording. So it wasn't much. For those of you who are on my TikTok, like, there's a lot of ignorant people in the world. So, like, the amount of stupid comments that I had to delete on my TikTok is ridiculous. Like, there's a lot of racist, ignorant people, which I know, but seeing it for yourself and having people comment on your video like the dumbest, just ignorant, like, it's mind-blowing. But I seen a few, just like a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 comments saying, "Oh, another video started in the middle. We don't know what happened before that." It didn't even start in the middle. It started literally, like, I want to say 15-30 seconds, less than a minute into them approaching us. So it didn't start in the middle. That video is about 5 minutes long. So yeah, I just want to address that. So yeah, my ex starts recording, and you in the beginning of the video, you really just hear us saying, like, why, like, what's all of this for? And all of a sudden, these officers go, "Oh, I have a warrant." I have a warrant for my arrest. We randomly get stopped by 2 officers asking for identification. They don't get it. Asking for names. They don't get it. And then all of a sudden, I have a warrant for my arrest. So in that whole, probably like the first part on my TikTok, it's us really just asking, like, why? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what warrant? Like, how are you even telling me that I have a warrant if you don't even know who I am? I didn't give you my ID in this moment. I didn't give you my name. Neither of us gave you any of that. So how are you telling me that I have a warrant? That's one. So we're continuously asking why, what warrant, a warrant for what. So in the first part in the video again, you can hear the female officer say, "Oh, the thing." So that baffled me. Like, what does the thing mean? What thing? I have a warrant for the thing, and she's looking at the male officer like, "Oh, like, what is the warrant for?" Like, she didn't really know. Mind you, I've never seen a warrant. Still to this day, I've never seen a warrant. We're trying to positively identify you, blah, blah, blah. And so the male officer starts getting real aggressive and crazy, seeing that my ex is recording him. Cops don't like being recorded, or apparently they just don't care. So he sees that my ex is recording him, so he starts going towards him, like walking towards him, pointing, like, and even tells him to put the video away, like, stop recording. You can't tell nobody that. Stop recording for what? He doesn't have to stop recording anything. All of a sudden, I turn around to kind of try to get my ex to back up, because this officer is really, like, at this point walking towards him, like taking steps towards him. And you could see that in the video. And all of a sudden, I get grabbed by both officers, the male and female. I get grabbed, one arm here, one arm there. The male officer puts this hand behind my back, and the female officer just has my hand, like, straight, just, like, out, not doing anything. So they just had me right there for a couple seconds. You can see that in the video. At this point, my ex is screaming because he's so angry, because we really don't even know what's going on. Like, how, like, I'm getting arrested. I've never been arrested in my life. I'm getting arrested. They're still not telling us anything. You could see in the video I wasn't even resisting, and I got charged. They put on my one of my files is that I was resisting arrest. And I have video proof to show that I literally was just standing there. Like, my ex standing there, the male officer again gets aggressive with him and starts saying, "Back up, back up." So my ex begins to back up, and you could see in the video him backing up. Like, he backed so far up at one point. You could tell the difference between when he first started to say back up till when he got pushed on the ground. The officer is saying, "Back up, back up." And then the officer tries to tell him to leave. He doesn't have to go leave. Like, you stopped the both of us. First of all, he was with me. He's not doing anything but trying to do the same thing I'm doing, trying to figure out why I'm being arrested, why I'm being detained, anything like that. He's trying to do the exact same thing I'm doing. We're angry, we're yelling, but nobody was resisting. Nobody was trying to, like, do anything destructive or anything. He continues to yell at my ex, saying, "Back up, you're getting in the way of an active arrest. She's under arrest." Mind you, I'm just gonna say this right now. I had no rights read to me whatsoever during this whole process. So yeah, he's telling my ex to back up. My ex is already backed up. He's not leaving me. What do you mean you have to leave? You have to go. He's not leaving me. But he did back up. He was not stopping anybody from arresting me, because at that point I was already arrested. You can see in the video when the female officer actually arrested me, and I was in cuffs that whole time, just standing there. So he was not getting in the way of anything. The only thing he was doing was standing there and asking why I was being arrested. That is it. In the moment my ex goes, if I'm not gonna leave and you're gonna arrest me, then arrest me, because I'm not leaving. So the officer says, "Okay, you're under arrest." So he's already backed up. The officer basically, like, kind of charges at him, grabs him, pushes him. You could see him get aggressive. You could kind of tell what's going on when the officer approaches my ex, like, whether he grabbed his arm or whatever he did. My ex could tell that part himself. But I remember seeing, because at this point I was in a police vehicle, cuffed in the back of a police vehicle, watching all of this happen. So from my point of view, I remember the officer getting aggressive, and I remember him pushing my ex to the ground. In the video, my ex is on the ground. He's saying, "I'm not resisting, I'm not resisting." You can see him not resisting. The officer is cuffing him. He's being so aggressive. He's asking, my ex is still asking, why you arresting me now? Like, what did I do? The officer is saying something about obstruction. Whoa. So let's technically, Let's Google obstruction. Obstruction means the action of obstructing or the state of being obstructed. Impedes or prevents passage or progress. An obstacle or blockage. He was not blocking anything. He was not preventing anything. Basically stopping an officer from making an arrest, or stopping an officer from doing what he has to do. He did not stop the arrest. He did not stop anything. At this point, officer is cuffed. My ex is on the ground, and the officer is basically on top of him, holding him down. He has him cuffed. My ex asked the officer, "Where's your sergeant? Where's your sergeant?" He goes, "I am the sergeant." He goes, "I am the sergeant." Mind you, I didn't see no stripes. I didn't see any of that. So he says, "I am the sergeant" at first, right? There was another part of the video where the female officer is now next to my ex, and my ex says it again, "Where's your sergeant? I get the other sergeant." The female officer says he is the sergeant, but at the same time, the same officer that said, "I am the sergeant" at first, he goes, "I am the lieutenant." So which one are you? A lieutenant or are you a sergeant? Now I'm confused. Now I don't know what you are. And lieutenants have stripes. Sergeants have stripes. Where are yours? Where's your white shirts? I know lieutenants wear white shirts. Where is anything? You look exactly like the officer standing next to you, the female officer standing next to you. So how are you telling me that you're the sergeant, you're the lieutenant? Which one are you? And then in my police reports, it says that he's the lieutenant. I don't even know what to believe in these reports anymore, because I feel like everything in it is just, nothing about it is true. The officer goes, "Obstruction, blah, blah, blah." And then goes, "Oh, I'm under arrest," right? He says that she's under arrest. They're trying to do something with an active arrest warrant, and the last girlfriend he had here had a warrant for her arrest. Mind you, they still don't know who I am, but they have me cuffed and in the back of a police vehicle. And this officer that's on top of my ex is saying the last girlfriend he had here had a warrant. After this video, he gets up, and I guess they go to put him in the vehicle, but the officer just basically like takes the phone. So at this point, it's from my point of view. I'm sitting in the back of the police vehicle watching this whole thing. So they put him in the vehicle. All of a sudden, they took him out around again. And at this point, there are like there's more officers that came. So at this point, there was like four officers. It might have been 4 officers on the scene, or 3. So, it was actually, yeah, it was probably 4. They're all basically on him. I'm watching them put their knees into his back, and he did say the same thing. They're cuffing him a different way, so I think they put the cuffs in the back of him, and they put him back in the car. So at this point, same male officer came to the car and asked for my name again, and asked for my identification card again. I told him I did not have it on me, and I told him I wasn't giving him my name, because why first of all, you still don't even know my name, and you have me in the back of this vehicle. So no, I'm definitely not giving you my name now. You're not getting anything. So I guess he didn't believe that I didn't have my ID, so he kept asking the other officers. Another officer came to me. She was really nice. She came to me and asked for my ID. I told her I didn't have it. So she patted me down. I didn't have it. And all of a sudden, before we go to the station, all of a sudden, the phone that my ex was recording the video on was missing. So we all trying to figure out. I'm asking the officers, because I'm thinking he recorded it on my phone. So I'm asking the officers, "Do y'all have my phone? Do y'all have my phone?" So the officer that was driving me to the station, she got out the vehicle and asked the other officers, "Oh, did you guys find the phone?" Blah, blah, blah. So they go fake look for it in the grass or whatever. And they tell me that my ex has one phone. So I'm thinking that's his phone, but I'm like, where's my phone? They drive us to the station or whatever. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm talking to this officer in the car, like, I don't know what this is about. Just randomly stopped us. They didn't, like, asking for ID. I don't have to. I'm explaining the situation to her. Oh, I skipped the part. There was a part where the officer still had my ex on the ground, and he goes to say, in the beginning of the video, he says, "I'm under arrest. She's under arrest." When he was on top of my ex, he said, "Oh, she's being detained. It's not called arrested, it's called detained." Like, he was being smart, but he's the same one that said I was arrested in the beginning of the video. So anyway, going to the police station, I'm talking to the officer, blah, 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 thinking what is about to happen. Like, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. Like, what are they about to do? What is about to happen? So we go inside. They put me in this hot room, door closed, got me cuffed cuffed to a chair, couldn't even really move. So I'm sitting in there. First officer that first approached us with the male officer, she came in asking a bunch of questions like, oh, what's your name, your social, blah blah blah. I'm like, y'all still did not tell me why I'm in here. Why do I have to give you that information? She's like, oh, you have to see the judge, and if you don't give me this information, then it's just gonna affect you with the judge. It's not gonna look good on your part. I'm like, miss, could have just simply told me what the issue was. Why am I even here? I don't know anything. Like, I have no clue. She leaves or whatever. She comes back. She's like, oh, there was a situation that happened with one of the officers that you made a statement on one of the officers. So I said, oh, so what was the, so I'm getting locked up because I'm getting locked up because I made a report on an officer. Okay, so let's go back to the reason for the report. This was back a few months ago. Basically, me and my ex was just chilling. Like, we was just in the house chilling. All of a sudden, he starts saying he's feeling weird pains in, like, his leg or his arm. Like, just basically one side. Like, he's telling me, and I know, like, certain things I know about signs of, like, health signs and things like that. So I know that one of the signs for a stroke is, like, feeling numbness or, something weird, a weird feeling in one side of your body. So my ex kept saying he kept feeling it, and it was, like, kind of going up his body, and, like, so I got nervous, and I'm like, oh, do you want me to call an ambulance? At first he said no, but eventually he said, yeah, you should, like, maybe you should call, I was getting nervous. So I called EMS. At the moment, we weren't thinking about the fact that the police always comes with EMS. So EMS comes, they're looking at him, blah blah blah, and I'm right next to them. All of a sudden, I see our front door open a little bit. So I run to the front door because I don't know who that is. Who was opening the door? EMS is already in here. So I go to the door and I see a police officer. So this is a police officer that we've had a run-in with before, prior to that. So again, I don't, like, what do you want? Like, you came to cause trouble? Because he looked like he just wanted to cause trouble. He stood there, he's like, oh, he's looking for my ex or whatever. So I'm not going to go into detail, but basically when the officer was he wasn't even trying to come in. Like, he was standing by the door speaking to me, and then stopped speaking to me and started speaking to my ex. My ex is all the way inside the apartment. I'm by the door. So he starts directing his attention and his conversation to my ex, and I'm still by the door. Mind you, I only opened the door but so much, because what do you want? You don't have to come in here. EMS is in here. We don't really need you. You're just here because that's what happens when we call EMS. So I didn't open the door all the way because what do you want? So all of a sudden, he shoves in the door. Mind you, the door hits me on my right side. It happened so fast, and like that it was just so, like, unexpected that all I felt was just my right side hurting, and my back was swollen after. So basically, I made a report on that officer saying what happened. And they're basically, when I went to the station and made the report, they're recording me, and I'm saying the statement or whatever, and they're saying, if it's false, blah blah blah, there's basically consequences or whatever. I'm saying, okay, like, nothing about my statement is false. Mind you, at the time there was a state trooper inside who seen in the moment, said that he seen it, and when we again tried to explain it to him, he asked that same officer who did it to excuse himself and leave the apartment. But in my reports, it says that neither nor my ex said anything about this happening. Like, there was no report. We never told a state trooper or anybody in there that ever happened. Mind you, if they have body cam footage, they would see all of that. More lies in the police reports. So basically, I just went to go report that officer and say what happened in that moment, because I really felt like he assaulted me and he purposely did it. During that time, I wasn't able to get the body cam footage, but they kept saying, oh, the body cam footage never showed the officer pushing or shoving into the door. You stopped him from coming inside. It was just like a bunch of BS. Basically, the reason for the warrant which I still, till this day, did not see. I never got a summons for court. I never got a warrant. I never seen it. The reason for this warrant that they speak about is because I went to go report a police officer. And they're telling me that what I reported is false. And so false, it's a warrant for making a false statement, so they say. So I go in, they're telling me this. I'm like, y'all are serious right now? Like, they tell me basically that I have to get fingerprinted, I have to take, I have to go take pictures, and I have to see a judge. I'm thinking I'm about to be in jail. Like, I'm about to sit in jail tonight. Like, they about to put me in an orange suit and all of that. Sitting in there for hours, like, in that hot room, door closed, like, just sitting there. Can't really move because I'm cuffed to the chair. They're telling me I have to wait. They're gonna move me in a second to a new room so that I could take the pictures and do my fingerprints or whatever. So I go in there. The room was just, it gave mugshot, fingerprints, jailbird. Yeah, it gave that. They asked me to sit on this bench. The bench was so dirty, like rusty, dirty. I felt disgusting. Sitting in that room, the other room, they cuffed me to the rail, taking my mugshots. Then I go to do fingerprinting, right? So all of a sudden the officer is like, oh, you have to take 2 sets of fingerprints. So I'm like, for what? She's like, oh, because you have 2 charges. I said, okay, y'all told me about this false statement, BS. So what's the second one? She's like, resisting arrest. I said, who? Mind you, she's the same officer who arrested me. She was the arresting officer. So I said, who did I resist arrest from? She said, I resisted when the male officer was trying to arrest me. At what point did the male officer pull out his cuffs to arrest me? The only time he touched me was when he put my arm behind my back, and you could see it in the video. After that, he lets go and turns his attention to my ex. So when did I resist? I'm not about to get me with resisting arrest. She's like, oh, well, you have to take that up with the judge. I said, okay. They take me out that room, put me back in that hot ass room. I'm waiting in there for hours and hours. They telling me, oh, the judge won't get there till 7:30. Mind you, we got to the station about 3 o'clock. So I'm in there for hours. I'm waiting there for so long, waiting for 7:30. There was no clock, nothing. I didn't know what time it was. I'm just sitting there looking at the door. I was going crazy. Like, I understand why people go crazy when they are locked up. Like, mentally, I felt myself. It was just so bad. Like, in that one spot, cuffed to a chair, it did something to me. Right before they took me upstairs, an attorney came. One that they just provided, a court attorney that they just provided for me for that night. He came and asked what happened. I told him what happened, and he was just saying, it was basically an arraignment anyway. So he told me, he was going to plead not guilty, and then moving forward from there, we're gonna give me some numbers to call so I could get another attorney for my next court date. So I went to go see the judge, blah blah blah. That happened. They gave me the number. So I didn't even get a chance to call the number. They had assigned me a public attorney. I spoke with him and basically told him the whole story. I told him about the video that I had. I told him about not being Mirandized. So when I had another court date, both of us, me and my ex. Oh, my ex also got resisting arrest. I told y'all that. And he got obstruction and something else. So my ex and I had got the same court date to come back. So we went back to court recently the other day. And that court date was his arraignment. And that court date for me, basically, the attorney that I had, he basically got me another court date just to review evidence, review the video, review footage from the body cam footage from months ago from the original incident that they say I have a warrant for. They gave us time to do that, and they gave me another court date, so I have to go back to court. Me and my ex have the same court date again, same time, so we'll be going back. But other than that, thank you to the person. I have to see who it was again, but there was someone who commented on my TikTok and told me to contact the Civil Liberties Union, which I totally forgot about. And when I was researching, like trying to get an attorney and a lawyer, I forgot all about that. So I did some research and I did contact them. So I'm just waiting for a response back. Hopefully they could help me. It's kind of a gist of what happened. I'm not sure if I missed any details, but either way, like what I said basically matches what happened in the video. So again, like I said, if y'all didn't see it, y'all could go see it on my TikTok. And you know what? I had on my TikTok, there was a lot of stupid comments, but I just want to thank everyone who commented something positive or something to show some support or love, or just, you know, that showing that you're on our side and that you're seeing what's wrong too. And even the people who were saying we gotta fight back, I appreciate those comments. Yeah, that's that. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank y'all for hearing me. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Catch y'all in my next video. Bye.